Many of us spent a lot more time than we're used to at home last year. Maybe you took advantage of this time and finally finished that project you've been working on around the house, or perfected your banana bread recipe, or maybe you started writing that novel that you've always been meaning to write. Or maybe you joined thousands of other people around the globe and took up a new hobby, backyard birding. But what do they eat? I'm Amber, interpretive naturalist for Lake Metro Parks, and I'm here to tell you. Different kinds of birds like different kinds of foods. Seeds, berries, suet, nectar, and fruits are all foods that our birds like to eat. So what should we offer them if we want to feed them in our backyards? Let me show you the most common foods we can feed our backyard birds. Right here we have 3 different kinds of sunflower seeds: hulled sunflowers, striped sunflower seeds, and black oil sunflower seeds. Now while our birds like all of these, the ones that they seem to prefer the most are the black oil sunflower seeds, right here on the end. These have a thinner shell casing, so it's easier for birds to crack open, and you'll attract a lot of varieties of birds with these. Anything from chickadees and titmice, blue jays, cardinals, they certainly love these seeds. A much smaller seed that we have are Niger or Niger thistle, and this is a really good food type for birds like finches who have smaller beaks. Mealworms are really good to feed for our insect-loving birds like bluebirds and wrens. They'll also attract some other birds with them, and it's okay to feed dried mealworms or live mealworms. Fruits like raisins or grapes, even oranges, will attract different kinds of birds. Orioles really like orange slices, and fruits like dried raisins or berries will attract robins or maybe even waxwings. Suet is a high fatty food that's actually really good to offer birds throughout winter so they can keep their energy up. Woodpeckers, chickadees, nuthatches, a large variety of birds will also come to suet. Now that we know what our feathered friends eat, what do we put it in? Well, there's many different kinds of bird feeders that we can put out in our yard, so let me show you some of those. First, we have 2 different types of tube feeders. This guy right here and right here. This one has much larger openings, you can see, and bigger perches for bigger birds to sit on and get sunflower seeds out of. Over here, this one has much smaller openings for our thistle seed and smaller perches for birds like finches to sit on. We also have a couple different kinds of suet holders. This one is a suet cake holder. You can see it's kind of flat, and it has a cage here that we can put a suet cake in, and woodpeckers and nuthatches can hold on to the cage to eat it. The top just slips up and the cake goes right in. If you want to try making your own suet at home, which is basically just some sort of fat like Crisco, maybe mixed with peanut butter and cornmeal, you can use something like this where you can just slather the suet into these holes. It also works really well to put it on a pine cone or even just on tree bark. Now that we're getting into warmer months, you might want to put feeders out that will attract hummingbirds and orioles. A hummingbird feeder has a bottle like this that you can fill with nectar or sugar water, and then there's little holes around the rim and a perch along the side where they can rest and put their long beak in to suck out some of that nectar. An Oreo feeder might look something like this. There's spikes on it that we can put orange slices on for them to feed on. Trays to fill with jelly. They also really like to eat jelly. And on the inside of the tray we can put some nectar. If you want to offer your feathered friends berries or fruits, jelly, or even mealworms or other insects, this type of feeder works really well. It's a nice deep dish. You can put pretty much any of those things inside of it, and the birds can perch right along the edge here and eat out of it. This is just a small sample of the different kinds of bird feeders that are out there. There are many different types of varieties. Like another one here, our platform feeder, is just a nice flat surface that birds can feed off of. But what's important about all these feeders is what we put inside of them to offer our birds to make sure that they are eating well and staying healthy. Now don't forget, you want to make sure you clean your feeders out regularly with a mild bleach solution, and sweep up underneath your feeders to get those seed hulls out of there. Also, when you're putting your feeders out in your yard, try to put them a little bit away from your house to avoid bird collisions. But if you're going to have them closer, you could put up some decals or cords like these. Well, I hope this information helps you get to know your feathered friends a little bit better. If you want more information on our birds, go to our website and check out our bird blog. Or if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Amber, interpretive naturalist for Lake Metro Parks, and we're here at Penitentiary Glen Reservation.